They say procrastination's bad for you, but personally, I do some of my best work when procrastinating. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. I would also sometimes agree that I feel like I do my better work when I procrastinate. I don't know that that's always the best.
Well, technically, no. No, it's not. Realistically, no. You're not supposed to procrastinate.
Yeah.
But we do.
We do. We do. And I think that there's a lot of different psychological aspects that are happening when somebody is choosing to procrastinate.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just gonna agree with you on that one.
Obviously. So when we think about procrastination, I think one of the key things we have to keep in mind is sort of what it is, which is that delaying what we know we have to do. That's what sometimes I think people think procrastination is, but there's another element to it, which is that we delay something that we know we need to do despite knowing that there might be some adverse outcomes. So that's what makes it a little bit more about what is procrastination and when can it be maybe more problematic for people versus when it's maybe just like pushing the wire a little bit with timelines.
I don't know.
Did I leave you speechless?
No, I think my brain lagged because it just sounded like you said, yeah, procrastinating is procrastinating.
Well,
and like you said, procrastinating has negative outcomes, but we know that.
Okay. Yes, but I don't know that, like with so many things, like, do we call some things procrastination?
It might not be procrastination.
Right. Because we can use the sort of cliche example of high school, college student doing a big project, right? A paper. We'll say it's a big 10-page paper.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting that approximately 1 to 2 days prior.
1 to 2 days prior, right? And so,
if not day of.
I was going to say, some people would be like, you're starting a day or two early? Like, that is so not procrastination.
I had an 8-page paper due last week, and I did start the day of.
The day of. Mm-hmm. There you go. So I think if we break down some of the different aspects of that, right? Which is, did you really procrastinate? Because what were the adverse outcomes?
You see, I knew it was coming up, and I was just like, I'll worry about it when it gets there.
And so
was that procrastinating?
Yeah, I mean, that would then be the question of what really is procrastination versus what is, I have a plan, I'm going to fit it in these different time slots.
See, I don't think I really procrastinate. I think my mentality is whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Right.
So, like, is it going to turn out any better if I do it right now versus the day of? No.
Right.
Because what I know now, I'm going to know then, too.
Right. And I think that with procrastination, a lot of times there's some elements in there, which is obviously time, emotions, and there's another aspect to it too. But, sometimes that sense of urgency and so forth. So with this, you still you put it off until a time, but did you trust yourself that you were going to get it done in the time that you allotted?
Yeah.
So you had a plan.
If I couldn't write it in a day, why would I put it off till the day of? Well,
sometimes people procrastinate and actually start
So I'm not a procrastinator.
I don't know. This is interesting because you are not, that is not something I typically think of you, because I think you are very disciplined and you actually do a lot of things ahead. Like, it really bothers you to wait till the last minute. Like, I'm thinking like on group projects and some other things, like you do not like to wait till the last minute to do things.
Well, with group projects, it's just like, if you wait till the last minute, I can't fix your fuck ups. Like, right. I can't.
Right.
But if you do it ahead of time, I know that it's done and that I don't need to rush and do all of it.
Right. Or that somebody else is is catching your mistakes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but no, you are not one that I typically think of with procrastinating. Like your dad. Your dad does not tend to procrastinate. Like he's really good about typically pacing things that are, I should say, that are important to him.
You see, here's the thing. It'll get done before it's due date.
Yeah.
It might wait till the very last minute. But that's because that's all the time I need.
Right.
Like with my work projects, I tell you that I have to have a deadline because I'm not going to do it otherwise.
That's good. That's good to know because I'm the same way. Like when I have something that somebody asks me to do, like please put a date on it. Like if I see that in the email, that date gets stored or it gets onto my calendar and it gets done. If it's just like, can you do this for me? Yeah, it's like out there
when
and
I get
sort of
a chance or when I remember next, but I probably won't remember.
Right. So there is something about putting a date on it. And there is this aspect that when the more a date is on it and the sooner that date is, then it becomes more urgent for us to do.
Yeah.
Because if I said, there's this project and I would like for you to have it done by July 31st.
Okay, I'll do it July 30th.
Because that's so far away. Now, you might take a look at it and go, there's a lot to it.
When you keep asking me to do like social media stuff for the summit, sweetheart, the summit's so far away. It's not. It's like 20 days. But like...
Yes.
Ask me the week before.
Yes.
I'll crank some out for you. Don't ask me 2 months ahead of time. Because it's not going to get done because I don't have the place to store it. And it's not, no.
It's not on your thing. Got it. And I think I'm very much the same way too, right? Like there's certain things that have to be done. Oh, so this is like an adult thing. Like how many of us, like there's some people who actually have filed their taxes already and have gotten refunds, I think. I've heard.
I haven't even thought about my taxes. So.
Yes, they're due April 15th. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got time. We've got plenty of time.
Yeah, that's over a month.
Right. Well, except...
That's plenty of time. No.
We have something that has to be submitted March 31st.
Okay,
March 15th.
That has nothing to do with me. So.
Yes. So there's that. Now, there is some... When they look at some different studies and stuff, there's this thing called temporal discounting.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sure.
Which is the further it is away, the less
urgent.
Yes. And so I am going to be picking things that are closer and have more of a reward for now.
Sure. I don't know. I guess. Mm-hmm. I guess. I don't know that it has... For me, I don't know that it has any more reward. Whether I do it now or whether I do the thing that's more urgent. It's more like, it's urgent, I gotta do it because it needs to be done now. There's no reward to it.
Right. Or maybe the consequence is too far out, if that makes sense too. Sure. So they do. So this is used a lot in when you think of health behaviors, mm-hmm. right? Like eating well and exercising. Like we know we should be doing this for our overall health, but do we want to stay in bed or get up and do the early morning workout? Or do we want to really eat well? Or do we want the cupcake? And so again, those short-term rewards versus the long-term. And so there's, this temporal discounting. It's actually showing up in a lot of research in regards to motivation and, a lot of other things like self-efficacy and different things like that, discipline and so forth. So it certainly has a role in procrastination with this. Mm-hmm. Still not buying it.
I'm not quite buying it.
Okay, so would you rather, let's see, it's still earlier in the week. So would you rather scroll some TikTok or would you rather work on that paper that's due Sunday?
If I work on the paper that's due Sunday, it's still not getting done until Sunday. I will just simply work on it until Sunday. And yeah, no. No.
So the thing that you're talking about, there's actually a phenomena called Parkinson's Law, which is that whatever time that you have for the task,
that's how long it's going to take.
That's how long it will take. So if you have 2 weeks to do it and that's what you do, then you will fill up the 2 weeks on that task.
I will write 2 sentences and then scroll on my phone. That's how it usually goes.
Right. So is that procrastination or is that...
That's not procrastination.
That's feeling like I have been working on this project for 2 weeks. It's taking forever when really when you're...
That's feeling like, okay, this doesn't need to be done now. I don't know. That's why I don't think I really have procrastination. I just like prioritize what is due now. Right. Because I'll always find time to get what needs to be done, you know?
Yes, I do know. And I think that that's an important part of, are we prioritizing or are we procrastinating? Like, yes, I could be getting some things done, but instead I am prioritizing these things today. This thing will get done. And I think with that, there's an element of self-trust in there too.
Like with my workouts, like I'll stop work in the middle of the day to go work out because I'm motivated to do it now, and the work will still be there afterwards.
Right.
And I don't have a deadline at the moment that I'm trying to meet.
Well, and especially you want to get outside. So if it's nice out, you're like, I'm going to do this before it gets
dark or cold. Yep. Yep.
And so you are constantly reassessing your priorities, or you've already scheduled your priorities, and that's what fits for you. And so it's not necessarily procrastinating. But do you think that sometimes people feel guilty? The balance, yes. But do you think people feel guilty sometimes for choosing other things? Like, especially these big things that we do can sometimes feel like I need to devote everything to this now, or I feel guilty, or things like that.
I'm sure I don't, but I'm sure they do.
You don't?
I don't. I'm like, it's all about balancing for me. It's like, yeah, I'm going to do this now and I'll do that later. Then it's all going to work out. And if it doesn't, I'll have a minor breakdown and get it done anyways.
Okay, so there can be stress involved.
There can be, but I don't know that there's ever guilt or like, yeah.
So those feelings of stress and overwhelm.
Yes.
Is that when maybe procrastination is present? That people have procrastinated, so therefore there is, some people feel guilt, some people maybe just stress and overwhelm, or is that just part of the process that some things are just going to feel big?
I think some things are just going to feel big because like there are times where like my brain just shuts down and I can't form the words to do my project or whatever. And it's like, okay, I have more than enough time to get this done. I'm not stressed about getting it done, but the brain is shut off and it's not working.
And so a lot of times it's about using your energy and what works well for you.
Sure. I don't know.
You don't know. Well, like for me,
I think you're looking into it a little too much, but okay. You typically do. It's okay.
I typically do. Well, I want to break this down for people.
I know you do.
Well, because everybody's a little different and they're not like you, maybe. Maybe there are some who are. There's some.
No, I'm one of a kind.
Of course you are, sweetheart. Of course you are. I think everybody is absolutely unique in their own way.
Well,
so.
Me more so.
Of course. Because you're my baby.
Right.
But I wonder if, when you think about the different emotions that are going into some of the work that we do or some of the things that we put on ourselves to do.
That wasn't a question.
I'm just putting it out there for you. I'm lopping the ball over to your court, so you can take it and go somewhere with it.
I don't know. I don't think that much about it.
What about
I have like two modes when it comes to like putting off my things to the last minute. It's let's get this done, or my brain shut off. So like, yeah.
You got an on and off switch.
I got an on and off switch. Sometimes I can't find it, guys. I usually can't find it to turn it back on. I can usually find it to turn it off.
Really?
Yes. I don't have a problem with that one.
And yet you saw a lot of people around you with some of your classmates and so forth.
Did I?
Did you not notice anyone?
No. Why are you telling me what I've noticed when I haven't noticed?
In the psych suite, you didn't notice meltdowns and overwhelm.
Absolutely, but it wasn't my business. I stay in my lane.
You stay in your lane. You're not talking about anybody else's stories.
Like,
you never...
You want me to recall on people that I barely took notice of? That's what you're asking me to do here. I have a small world and I choose to stay in it.
You choose to stay in it. But... So you never noticed other people, like, what you would say procrastination, like, dude, should have started earlier. Like, you've never noticed that?
I never had the thoughts of, dude, you should have started earlier. I might have had the thoughts of, that sucks. You should have...
You should have what?
That sucks.
You should have started earlier.
No.
Oh, you can't say, Mom, yep, I thought I was thinking the same thing.
No, those are not the words. You put those words in my head. The words were right. That sucks, you get what you get.
I'm implanting words in your head like anything.
Jesus.
As therapists, that's not what
we do. I'm done here. I'm done. She said the words and then the words were in my head. And that is something therapists do.
No.
They throw things out there and see how it feels.
I do.
You threw that out there
and it felt
my brain
right.
is barely working. It did not feel right.
I think the words felt right too and you don't want to admit it. That's
no, they did not.
I feel like
the words were that sucks. Whose fault's that? Yours.
All right then. So you did have some thoughts.
None that I took notice of.
Okay. But you would have some thoughts if you did notice.
If it was actively happening, I would probably be like, that sucks. Whose fault's that?
Right. Like, own up. Fess up. What are you going to do about it? Okay.
Well, this isn't my problem, so I'm going to stay in my own lane. And I'm going to mind my own business. And I'm not going to think about you.
Okay.
And then Miss Ma'am over here is like, well, you took notice. No, I didn't. That's not something that just registers in my brain. Like, oh, yeah, I saw that all the time.
No.
That's filed away in the do not care about, do not bring up, like the whole like isn't pertinent information, you know?
Because you try to stay out of other people's business.
Sure.
Well, unless it's mine or your...
We're not getting into this.
So let's talk. We can switch gears here. When we think of procrastination, a lot of times when it becomes extremely problematic, one of the things we can sometimes see it tied to some mental health challenges that people might be experiencing, such as, I really see it a lot with anxiety, right? It can also be part of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, can be a part of depression, and some other things. So, but especially a lot with anxiety. Like, I don't want to get started, or I'm afraid of getting started, or whatever it is.
Okay.
Can you see that might, like, anxiousness might be part of it?
Sure.
You acknowledge that, but I'm not going to notice the anxiousness in somebody who might be procrastinating.
Like, I personally don't experience it.
I know you don't.
I can see how others may.
Yes.
I do not. So therefore, my answer is sure.
Dude, I'm
I don't think now is a good time to film, because let me tell you, I'm in a mood.
Oh, I think people are saying, let's keep going.
I don't know about that. Anyways.
Sort of getting back to that, like, when you think about people procrastinating, right, which is they're delaying doing something, especially when they know the outcome is going to be no good, right? And so at the root of that, oftentimes, is this sort of anxiousness, which is what feels so scary about starting that thing or what have you. whether it's starting the paper or what is so scary about having that difficult conversation that you need to have with this person. And so I wonder.
The paper I don't get. The conversation I do get.
Oh, so tell me about that.
Well, the paper I don't get because it's your words, you're writing it. But the conversation, it's like you don't know what the other person's going to say, perceive, what kind of mood they're going to be in. The paper is all you. I don't know why you're anxious about that one, but
I think some people are anxious because sometimes with that can be tied perfectionism. Like, what if, I got to do this perfectly? And so they're, and sometimes I think people procrastinate because they don't really know what they're doing or don't feel like they know what they're doing. Like,
I've done that.
You've done that.
I've done that. I do that frequently. That's usually around the time that my brain shuts off.
Mm-hmm. Well, or sometimes you're either overthinking it or you just haven't wrapped your head around what is it that they're really asking. I found myself, I did that recently. Like, I kept looking at something I was being asked to do and I was like, I don't understand this. Like, I'm looking and I want to, and I'm just like, and I would pull it up several times and I'm like, I don't know. And we're talking like spreadsheets, massive, like, and I'm trying to like, and I'm supposed to respond to it. And I'm like, I don't understand. So finally I did, and had to, and once I figured out what I thought was being done, then I was like, okay, so if that is what I'm thinking it is, then here's my thoughts and responses. Now, if that was wrong, then the whole thing was wrong. But you know what? I was procrastinating on that. And I think it was out of probably some fear, like wanting to do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think even though I would say that's not typically my sort of how I tend to do things, because typically, probably at a point, like most things that I do, I tend to know, unless like there's some things that I'm learning and doing now that, it's way over my head. I shouldn't say it's over my head. That's not true. It's so very new to me that as it takes a while to wrap my head around these new things. And so it's easy, I think, to like put off wanting to dig into something if I just know I'm going to go into it and I'm like, like this is going to take forever, or I'm going to get into it and I'm not going to quite know what I need.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, could there be moments of like, in those situations, do people maybe doubt themselves, right? Their self-efficacy of, I don't know if I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say that was mine. I think it was more, I don't know what I don't know to know how I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's so many steps that I sometimes have to do. Does that...
Yeah.
That was too much?
I'm totally tracking here.
Have you ever felt like...
I don't know how I ever felt because I don't know what the words you said were.
I don't know what I don't know.
Uh-huh. That's a lot of I don't knows.
Yeah, but haven't you ever been in such like, I don't know what I don't know that I'm going to need to know how to like to figure out what I'm going to do.
That was a whole lot of word vomit that I don't follow. I can't follow your word vomit today. Okay, Angel?
Okay, Victoria.
No, I don't know any situation where I'd be like, I don't know what I don't know what I don't know how to do what I don't know, Because that's just what it sounded like to me, what came out of your mouth.
A lot of I don't know.
Yes. Mm-hmm. My brain's just not catching up today.
It's not catching up. And I would probably say maybe this is also being of a more experienced...
She's old.
Way to take the dig, Victoria. Yes.
You set yourself up for that one.
I absolutely did. So I think just having been in a lot of different situations and getting to know myself a lot more, the things that I go into, when I know how to do them, like, okay, I can do them. And that doesn't mean I don't ever like put it off until the last minute, or I'm like, I'm not looking forward to the task. Like some things are just like, you got to do them sort of stuff. So I think when you don't enjoy some things, and I think that goes back to sort of that temporal discounting. Like, I would much rather do something that I enjoy than let me sit down and do that report. Like, I know it's going to get done. It's got to get done. I will get it done.
She'll complain a lot. I love you.
Yeah, I might be like, I gotta get this report done. I gotta get my taxes done. Like, does anybody enjoy, like even tax accountant, does anybody enjoy doing some of these things? I'm certain there are people, and thank you to the people out there who enjoy these things. There are some of us who just don't get it. But there's things that I do that so geek me out and that I thoroughly love.
And I want you to shut up about them because I don't like them. But I'm just like, okay, Angel, I've heard you talk about this for how long?
Like, but it's fun. I'm so excited.
And then she gets annoyed when I'm just tuning her out.
No, I don't get annoyed. It is what it is. Not everybody can appreciate all of the fun that can be had with certain things. Okay, thinking about like putting together a bunch of assessments and analyzing them to interpret them, to pull them into a report. I know. I was reminded today as we were talking about like who wants to teach what, and assessments is one of those, like, please don't. I would rather not. And I'm like, that is one of my favorites. I can geek out over that all day long.
I know, I like assessments. But the way that you were talking about it, I was like,
no, not a little too much, but especially this late at night. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Procrastination. Is it really as bad as it seems?
That's a good question.
Because everyone's like, don't procrastinate, it's bad for you. But I'm over here like, I thrive when I procrastinate for the most part.
I would say, I think there are some individuals whose chronic procrastination causes them more problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what about this did you think was going to turn out this way, right? So certainly I see this sometimes as faculty, like there's students, I mean, things always happen. Life happens, of course. I'm one of those faculty who I accept late work. Like, you live your life, do your things, balance what you need to balance, and it's reduced points if you submit it late, but I'm trusting all, obviously, unless you were in the hospital or something, but there's some people who chronically procrastinate. Think like finances. There are people, right? Like the occasional late fee, like some people are very good, and never experience those. And then you have some people who occasionally, a date slipped up on them, but you have some people who are chronically paying late fees and overdraft fees or some other types of things instead of, the late fees is really usually about procrastination, and it's usually not because there's not money there or what have you. They're pushing the deadlines, I think, sometimes. So those are ways that it can show up in certain things. In relationships, right? Like, I need to talk to this person. I need to let my partner know these things, but they don't, and they procrastinate because some of the times those discussions can be hard.
But I think when you talk about procrastinating with relationships, I think that's on a deeper level, and there's more behind that procrastination.
It is, but don't you also think there being more behind it? Maybe there's a more intense feeling or a more intense potential consequence, like more at stake, but isn't it still fear or... like that's typically when we think about procrastination, right? Especially if we're talking.
So fear is the whole thing behind procrastination, is basically what you're saying.
I'm not going to make that general sweep that it's behind all procrastination, but if we look at procrastination as it relates to anxiousness, what is anxiousness? It's typically a fear of what's going to happen in the future.
I was really looking for a way around using the word fear just to spite you.
And you couldn't do it, could you?
I was like, I'm not answering this, Angel.
So yeah, a lot of times the anxiousness is a fear of something is going to happen in the future, the what ifs and so forth. And so we tie ourselves up in knots with that. So in procrastination, a lot of times, which has its roots, procrastination and perfectionism and social comparison, a lot of those have their roots in anxiousness. And so there is that underlying fear, right? Social comparison. What are we afraid of, right? We're afraid that we may not be as good or perceived as good as somebody else, whether that's looks or intelligence or whatever. And so it's the same thing with procrastination. I'm afraid that I am not going to do this well, right? Or I'm afraid that what I'm about to do isn't going to matter. So I'm not saying it always is. I'm certain we can probably find some examples out there that are not tied to fear, but then again, give us long enough and we might be able to dig down into it. But we don't have to. You're giving me the side eye, girl.
My brain is jumping like all over the place with so many different thoughts that just counter what you said. And
just throw a couple of them out there. They don't have to make sense. Counter it.
Well, you're talking about how all these different things are rooted in anxiety and anxiousness. And I'm like, oh, so the entire world's just anxious all the time.
Anxious is just a feeling, right? So that's why I try to use the word anxious and anxiousness.
Feelings make up people.
Well, yes, emotions they're there. Like, that is okay. Here's the thing, you can feel anxious and not have that anxiousness impact what you choose to do. Why are you laughing at me?
Sometimes I want to just throw things out there and you'd be like, huh, okay, and then move on. I don't want the whole spiel. I don't know why I'm laughing.
I think you've had too long of a day. You're thinking about tomorrow, wondering why we procrastinated recording.
We did not procrastinate.
No, we did not.
We are so far ahead. This is 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out.
Right.
3 weeks out.
Okay, but we did keep pushing this back a little. But that's not procrastination, right? Because we have procrastinated some recordings. Like, usually, it was down to the wire.
It's the day before that we're filming.
But we are on a roll because we have decided we are better when we plan things out, typically.
Sure.
We'll see how this one turns out.
It's going to go out anyways.
It is. Hopefully our listeners out there are just like hanging with us going, yep.
Whole lot of procrastination, whole lot of ADHD.
And I don't know, you want to throw in some anxiousness in there? I'm not feeling real anxious. No. I'm feeling a little cold right now, though.
I forgot to turn the heat back on, so it was 56 in here.
Our recording studio, it has to be a little bit on the colder side, but it's a bit on the cold side. So
I'll wear a jacket. That was smart.
You were smart. So you said you had a whole lot of things just rolling through your head to respond to me, because I need to practice the okay. I'll leave it with you.
They're gone. They were rolling and they rolled right out.
Let's go free association, baby. You got this. What were some of those thoughts?
First of all, what did you just say?
Free association, just thoughts that come to your head. Just say them. They don't have to make sense right now. We were talking about.
When you ask me what the thoughts that come to my head are, my thoughts turn off. My brain turns off. If you put me on the spot, my brain will turn off. Which is probably something I should work on. But,
Should I look away? Will that help?
No, it won't.
Do we need to find the thought switch and flip it again?
We need to reel this back in because I don't know where this is at right now.
Okay.
Procrastination. I've been so good about not procrastinating. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it.
My reels, the past 2 weeks, last week and this week, all scheduled.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I have been like, rock star girl over there.
Yeah. It does take me 2 hours.
To post for the whole week?
Yes. to schedule for the whole week across 3 different platforms.
Okay.
4 different platforms. But
just getting it done all in one setting.
But I got it done, and I didn't want to, and yet I did. And I don't enjoy it. I don't know.
You don't enjoy the posting, but you enjoy it when they come out.
I don't like sitting down for 2 hours and doing the same thing over and over again. I make mistakes, and I did make mistakes today while scheduling, but it's okay. And I did not go back and fix them. It's whatever.
It's okay.
I forgot to select thumbnails, and every time I don't select thumbnails, it makes it whatever the last end screen is, which is our outro little clip.
Yeah, that sounds like a foreign language to me.
Yeah. Probably.
So
really, me not procrastinating means that I'm making mistakes. What you got to say about that? Because I don't make those mistakes when I procrastinate.
You mean like procrastinating or doing it down on the wire?
Yes.
Down to the wire.
Either.
On the wire, to the wire.
Whatever.
I would wonder, let's talk about the trade-off, because thinking about how you feel in those moments when you are like, I got to get a reel out, I got to post now, and it seems like it's a little bit more stressful, and you get it done, versus what I've seen the last couple of weeks from you, like, because we have gotten a bit ahead and that you are doing all this, you seem like you feel better about that. Oh, I'm Victoria, and I don't own any emotions.
Jesus. That is so not true.
So here's what I was saying.
Let me tell you my emotions throughout this entire video. Annoyed, a little bit enraged, annoyed.
All directed at your mother.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, entirely. Yep.
Entirely. So, but I think what I would say, what I see.
She sees a lot more than I feel. That's what I'm going with.
I guess I see you looking more confident and feeling better about that when it is done before. Now, that doesn't mean that that's all the time. I think when we were in maybe a pattern of constantly feeling like we're behind and like, hello, it's got to come out. And we're, so I do wonder about how we feel when we're doing things at a different pace, that it feels like we're not.
But is that a short term? The only word coming to my mind is serotonin boost. Like, is that emotion change short term? Like, I just change up what I typically do, but once I'm doing it for a while, is that going to go away?
I don't know. That would be interesting to see how it is for you. For me, I know there's a big difference in how I feel. Because mine is so, as faculty, it's so cyclic, right? In the sense of, I'm ahead. Like, this feels good. And then some things happen and I'm barely staying apart. And it's like, like, I'm just like one tiny step ahead of where I need to be versus, no, I've got the next 4, 5, 6 weeks. They're all up there.
Sometimes I wonder if you think I'm a little too much like you.
I don't know. I think.
Because sometimes you say things about me and I'm like, no, you're talking about yourself.
No, your dad and I have talked about you.
Let's talk about that. Why are we talking about me without me in the room? That's rude. We had a conversation about Mean Girls the other day. You were talking about me behind my back.
I imagine it was just a conversation. And, I think we've both said, I think that you seem to have gotten some of the better qualities of each of us.
And some of the worst, but I own them. I personally find them to be my best qualities.
Endearing.
Yes.
But no, I mean, are there some things that you probably do that are somewhat similar to me? Probably, because I don't think there's some things that are all that different from other people who, you're in graduate school. You've learned how to be successful.
Have I?
I know. I guess I feel someday you will be done. But that requires learning a certain set of skills about yourself to get some of those things done. Your day-to-day stuff, the things that you do. I mean, that's a lot of, I see where your dad comes through. Like, you just get things done. You don't. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know.
So I think when I praise you or recognize things in you, it's just to point those things out. It's not, I'm usually not thinking about myself.
But it usually reverts back to you. Like, you're a lot like me in that way. Or
how often do I ever say that?
You know how many times I talk about how my tummy hurts with certain foods, and you're like, oh yeah, we can't eat that. Or we can't eat like that, or we don't do well with sugar. Who's we?
Okay.
Or we can't procrastinate this episode another day, or we need to get on a filming schedule because we feel better about that. Who's we?
I don't know where you want me to go with this, so I'm just going to say, okay. Isn't that what you told me to do before?
I don't like that anymore.
Okay.
Anyways. What are some of the good qualities of procrastination?
I think that procrastination, when there's not the adverse outcomes, right? We don't want people paying late fees or not getting their homework accepted or what have you. But when people are putting things off until the last minute, using Parkinson's law, right? I think individuals who are doing that tend to know how to prioritize. This is what I need to do. This is sort of on the front burner. And, versus this, I have time to do these things later, and this is when I'm going to fit it in. So I think they're really good at prioritizing, thinking in terms of time, energy, when that fits to get that done. So I definitely think that's something that's helpful. I also think there is a sense of self-trust and self-efficacy. Like, I can do this. I know it. I've got this, right? Like, especially with tasks that we know how to do, right? We know how to get that report done. We know how to get that paper done. We know all of these different things that have to get done, like that self-efficacy. I know how to do it. I've got it. No big deal. And this is the part where I think, especially if I were talking with students, because I do this sometimes, things start to feel very overwhelming and they start to feel really stressed. And like, I have these 4 papers and I have this and this and this. And so sometimes sitting down and breaking it down into time chunks can be helpful and supportive. But a lot of it is trusting yourself. So do you typically get your papers done on time? Well, yeah. But this time I've got, okay. You've probably also had times where you've had this before. And have you been able to do this? So I think a lot of it is this process of learning to trust yourself. That yes, I've done hard things before. Yes, I've handled the overwhelm, the emotions, right? Because emotions are just normal. They're just emotions. They're just feelings. You don't have to do anything with feelings. You can roll your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was a feeling of being annoyed, and you opted to roll your eyes at your mother.
Why does everything have to come back to feelings? I feel like you are on repeat. You're a broken record every time feelings come up. Feelings are just normal. You don't have to feel them. They're just there.
Okay, because I'm a therapist, so we talk a lot about thoughts too. Do we want to move to thoughts?
We're on procrastination.
Right, so the thoughts of, I have to get this done. I must.
I said no to thoughts, and yet you
didn't say no.
I said this is about procrastination, not thoughts or feelings.
But thoughts about procrastination. How do you procrastinate?
I feel like we're playing with some semantics over here. I just pulled out a word that you use all the time.
I love it.
I was like, how can I use this against you right now?
So tell me how to talk about procrastination without talking about thoughts and feelings.
Well, let's see. I don't think we need to talk directly about them. I don't think the whole feelings are just feelings. You don't have to acknowledge them. They're just feel them. You don't have to act on them. They don't define you. We didn't need to go into that.
We didn't.
No.
I have this thought.
This is not. You're welcome to how we typically are.
I had this thought.
Okay.
I wonder if you will tell me the first time you ever tell a client the feelings are just feelings. You don't have to do anything with them. Do you think you'll ever say that to a client?
Yeah, but why? What? It doesn't need to be said here.
Oh.
100 times.
100 times.
We've said it in at least 7 episodes already.
At least 7.
And not only do I have to listen to it here, I have to listen to it when I'm editing it. And sometimes it just gets redundant and I want to bang my head into a wall.
Oh.
I love you, though.
Thank you. So it would be helpful if our readers let me know. Do I
Our
talk
readers?
about feeling? Our readers, our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
do I talk about feelings too much? And even if I do, I'm a therapist. Like, don't you sort of think the whole doctor therapy mom would maybe presuppose, like, people would go in with the thoughts of she might talk about thoughts and feelings?
Well, I think people would suppose that she was going to talk about procrastination today. And it does not seem like we've been doing a lot of that.
I sort of love the sassiness of you. I'm not certain what content we're getting out of this. So
I think,
can we reel it in?
We get some good stuff.
We
and
did.
then some whatever this is. Anyways.
Whatever this is.
Would you say that procrastination is a skill?
I don't know that procrastination itself is a skill, right? Because that is sort of the avoidance of a task. Because we haven't even talked about avoidance. Avoidance actually has some underpinnings in anxiety too, and anxiousness.
The feelings, the emotions, continue. The thoughts, continue.
We could just go with the disorder if the emotion is too much for you.
Continue.
So procrastination in and of itself is the avoidance of doing probably what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So is procrastination a skill? No. In my opinion. I might need to think about that because that's a really good question.
Can it be?
I think the skill is how to manage
and balance
any tendencies to procrastinate. And so I think that's where we start to see learning to prioritize.
So it's not just procrastination as a whole. It's tendencies of procrastination also. Right.
And I think it's the severity or chronicity of procrastination that becomes a problem. Like, any of us can procrastinate on something because we're sort of not looking forward to it. We're dreading it. So if that's not your general go-to, that you typically don't procrastinate, I think then the skill, right? Like, what skills do we use to address procrastination? I think maybe asking ourselves that question of what's underneath this. What
For me, it's
feeling
usually
is
I just
coming
really
up?
don't want to do this, you know?
But could there be a feeling behind that? I know you don't want to acknowledge a feeling. You're annoyed at having the assignment or task due. Sure. So I think how we can help somebody, like if we have a friend or family member who we're seeing them procrastinate, moms, if you're seeing your kiddo procrastinate, I would go in and ask, like, what seems really hard about this to get started, right? And
addressing the avoidance.
I think
I was trying to throw that word back in there because
someone
tried talking about it earlier and I cut them off.
I don't know that I would use words that sort of have those negative connotations. Like, what are you avoiding?
I didn't say ask them what are they avoiding. I said, are we addressing their avoidance?
Yes, that's what we should do, is get a sense of what's going on for them. Like, what's coming, what's making this so hard? And so trying to understand what feeling or emotion might be behind that. And then another thing we can do is help them, like, if we could just maybe break this down into smaller chunks. So instead of a 12-page paper, what's one thing you could work on? See, there's we. I'm using the word we. Mm-hmm. What's one thing you could work on that, for maybe 10 or 15 minutes? And maybe that's creating an outline, And then I think sometimes, and I know certainly for me, it's when I get a little bit started, just even having a little bit done makes me feel better about the situation. It doesn't feel quite as stressful. Like I at least got something down. Mm-hmm. So it could be a messy sentence or, a paragraph that I know I'm going to revise, but at least it's something.
I always write my papers backwards.
Do you?
I do. Introductions are really hard for me. I don't know why.
The introduction is the last thing I do. Mm-hmm. Right? So I do my thesis sentence. These are the things I'm going to talk about.
No.
And a paragraph on each one. But the introduction is the last thing I do.
No, because I like to know what I'm talking about before I write my thesis so that my thesis aligns with what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can revise my thesis, but I at least want to go in and know which...
No,
not at all!
I write it backwards, sweetheart.
Well, I don't know. It's not like you start with the conclusion. That would be backwards.
No, but I typically start with the last body paragraph.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I jump to like the first, and then whatever is in the middle of that, and then conclusion, and then introduction, and usually back to conclusion. Yeah.
Interesting. The English teacher in me is going, interesting.
You wonder why none of my papers make sense?
No. Actually, yours are, they're really good. You've gotten really good.
Okay. Anyways.
So
since we procrastinated over half of this episode.
I don't know that I would say the procrastination. I would say we sort of delved into some different topics. We definitely got sidetracked. You could definitely see our attention span.
It's like 9:00 p.m. Been up since 6.
Mm-hmm.
Have to be up at 6 again.
Yes, but look at us. We're getting things done.
Anyways. Takeaways. What you got?
That my daughter is very sassy and sometimes I'm a little afraid of her.
I'm in a mood today, guys.
You are. And I'm saying that very endearingly, so not really afraid of you. It's like, whew, okay.
I mean, you can be. It's okay.
And no, as far as procrastination, for me, the takeaways is really thinking in terms of because one thing I was thinking about earlier, and I didn't mention it, was this concept of short-term rewards first, right? So in the 60s and 70s, there was this marshmallow test.
But yes. Oh, the marshmallow test.
Yes. Right? So even...
Ask me the question.
What's the marshmallow test, Victoria?
That's not the question. Ask me the question about the marshmallow test.
Oh, so would you choose to have the one marshmallow or cookie, whichever, now, or would you rather wait 15 minutes and have 2?
Well, considering I don't eat sugar and I don't like marshmallows, I'll pass. Now ask me about coffee.
Would you rather have a small iced latte now with no extra espresso shots, or would you rather wait 15 minutes and get the extra espresso shots large?
I can't promise who I'm going to be in those extra 15 minutes, but like, coffee is coffee. I'm taking the larger coffee.
You're waiting the 15 minutes. Yes.
You might not like who that person is in those 15 minutes if you're dangling coffee in front of me and not let me have it, but
okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
And so that, I think, goes, what they have found is that sense of self-discipline, and they've actually correlated that into long-term studies that health behaviors and finances and education, that people who can delay that gratification actually tend to do better. And so I think this goes with this concept of procrastination, which is...
I think that goes with discipline also.
It definitely goes with discipline, but procrastination has some of the similar components to it, which is this short-term reward. I'd rather feel more comfortable now in this moment than deal with the distress or other feelings of attending to it. So I think there's a lot to it. I think my takeaways is breaking it down of, is it really procrastination if there's no adverse outcome because you're still doing it in the amount of time that you have? You're just sort of using Parkinson's law to get it sort of closer to that time period where the urgency's there. I don't know. That was a whole lot for a takeaway. I don't know why I threw all that in there.
I don't know. We're definitely over on time. Anyways, my takeaway, I don't think procrastination is always all that bad. I will continue to procrastinate because it works out well for me. You do you. That's all I got.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.